How's it hanging YouTube? This is King of Feral Limps, and I have Umbral Horrors today. Now, this isn't exactly, well, it's technically a deck profile, but sort of not. It's going to be maybe just a bit of talking, or I'm going to briefly go over this. It's not going to be like as in-depth as before, because really not so much has changed. This is for the February 2016 adjusted format. Basically, it's kind of similar to my last build, but my last build, it was hit because of Damage Juggler. So if you want to check that deck out, go ahead. It's very, really, well, not minimal changes. I've kind of shaken it up a bit. But go ahead and watch those if you want something in-depth. This is, I guess, sort of a quick update, so I'm going to go ahead and start. So the monster lineup is really nothing different. Let's see. These are our Umbral Horrors that we are playing. Let's see. Triple Unform, Triple Ghoul, two Will-O-The-Wisp. The same. This is the lineup I've always used. I've always stuck with this. I've never used more than two Will-O-The-Wisp because it's too difficult. You need this guy. He's the most important. This good backup. That's basically the Umbral Horrors. It's how they work. Destroy by battle, summon him. He brings stuff from the hand. He's the extra fodder. You want to bring this out so you don't draw it, because if you draw it, it's pretty bad. That's basically all I'm going to say. Like I said, not so in-depth as before. So, of course, additional monster still the Mystic Tomato, because, destroyed by battle, bring out this, and then you can keep your shenanigans up. Still two Drews. They bring stuff back from the grave. Still three Kage Tokage because they work. And then still using three Hat Trigger, even though we don't have Damage Juggler to search it out. It's still just such a good card. It's essentially free monster, so you can continue to get some plays off. Of course, sadly, it's not dark, so it doesn't have so much, as much synergy as I'd like it to. And sadly, since it's not searchable with Damage Juggler, it's not as good, but I feel like it's still worth using because it's just free monsters. That's all for the monsters. Not much has changed except for the Damage Juggler. Now for spells, all the same one-ofs, except no Soul Charge this time. Because, we're kind of, I end up taking so much damage, really, I guess, with Unform. Just because, because Unform became good, or well, it was always good, but Damage Juggler made it better. But now that we don't have so much damage prevention anymore, I went ahead and cut the Soul Charge. And, there are other ways to bring stuff back from the grave, but still, draw power, late game draw power, and more draw power. That's basically all of it. And then for the two ofs, still two MST, they're fine. Still two Instant Fusion because, three would be a bit too much. Two is just fine at the moment. And, it still helps. And of course, I freaking saw Kevin this Saturday. I need to chat with him. It's his fault that I don't have the second one, which I love you anyway, but whatever, two of yeah. And then this is the other change, two of the Rank of Magic limited variants force. Now this, I do need to pick up a second one, but I use this one above any others because it lets me go into some different things, and of course it's easy to get, it's easy to find, and you can go ahead and basically just any two rank ups. Now, like I said, this is a bit of a different one, with Damage Juggler being gone. I decided, you know what, let me just try out a bit more of the rank up variant. Now, the thing is, with this deck and rank ups, rank up is alright, but really all you can afford to play, I guess, is two copies of whatever rank up you're using. And, it helps, if you happen to draw it. Not using the 7th one, because I really dislike that. It's only good if you draw it and, if you draw into it aside from your first turn. So, yeah. Basically, that's what we're using. I have seen some interesting things, but, I'll chat about that later. And then still just 3 Upstart Goblins. Now, I considered Chicken Game to kind of help gain more draw cards, but again, we end up taking so much damage with Unform, and now that Damage Juggler is gone, it doesn't work out so well. Now for the traps, all one of... Can I fit them all? Whatever. So let's just quickly talk about that. All of this stuff is stable. This should be the Solemn Notice, but it's just a placeholder until I can get one. And again, I guess only one, maybe two, because again, you have to take damage in order for this deck to work out, and with Damage Juggler being gone, there are some risks that I don't really want to take anymore. All basic stuff. This is good with Key Beetle, and then 3 trap holes. You could swap out whatever you want. One could be a Void Trap Hole, but in this current build, I'm using 3 trap hole cards. And lastly, for the traps, these are the two of course, two Fiendish Chains. I've explained why Fiendish Chain is better than Breakthrough Skill, and then just two any forces, whatever kind of forces you can get. Mirror Force placeholder, and actually Quaking is actually really good. Maybe I would want to try out one Quaking and then switch this out for the Air Force, but these work out, just any two forces. That's it for the main deck. Now the extra is actually pretty tight. Two Nordens to go with the instant fusions. Trying out one Rafflesia, because, you know, that's why I said I was using 3 trap hole cards, because, you know, you can make enough, and you can bring this out, and it can be pretty good. And then, of course, once you're done with using all the trap effects, you can rank up on top of it. And one Cowboy. Dweller, I can't read it. I don't know what it is upside down. But they're all basic stuff. Castell for bouncing, 1-1 for taking, Copy Myself for searching, Right Zero for beat, 2 Key Beetles because, you know, play a lot of darks. Key Beetle is actually really good, of course, and like I said, with Rafflesia it's pretty good because you can, I mean, even without Damage Juggler, you can still kind of, you know, make enough good plays. You can, you know, first turn bring out a Key Beetle on Rafflesia, and then, you know, have Key Beetle protect the Trap Queen, and then she can go ahead and activate the effect to trap hole one of your opponent's monsters and still have this, and you've got a pretty decent wall, and then, of course, with whatever traps you have, you've got some decent defense. And of course Key Beetle's good. I've explained why it's like really good in other things. One Masquerade because we can make it, and of course for the two rank up cards. Now using the 104, the C104, because, you know, we can make it on top of the regular one and then get that beautiful effect. And then the C number 69, lol, Lenny face, because of course it's just a general beat stick. Like I said, you can go ahead and like bring it out on top of, shoot, where'd that go? Like Rafflesia, right? Go ahead and end up using its effects. Then say, like, if you happen to rank up, you can just rank up into this, and then just have a crazy beat stick. And then, especially if you still have the Key Beetle, then you'll have to reactivate the effect to protect it, but you can still do that. That's pretty much all for the main deck, or for the extra deck, and of course not a lot to say. But I guess these are the only 2 changes, and of course I don't use Masked Chameleon because then I'll have to play Synchros, and right now it's kind of it's already really tight. And of course, again, this is for the February 2016 list, so no Ptolemaeus because we can't use that. And even still, like, for me it was kind of crowded already, but I mean, I still kind of snuck in Ptolemaeus event sometimes, but no Ptolemaeus because of the list. Really briefly, some interesting thing I wanted to mention, Booby Trap E is a really interesting card. And of course, you know, with Key Beetle being the monster that it is, combined with the terror that is known as Vanities, see, Key Beetle is just always good with any sort of continuous trap, whatever you want to use and protect. So having one Vanities, if you can kind of tech in, I just dropped some cards, if you can kind of tech in the Booby Trap E, and if you can afford to discard, then that's some pretty good stuff, because you can get this back from your grave, and then use Vanities again, or whatever other kind of continuous traps you want to end up using. And although I could try out a Safe Zone variant, but I mean, like, Safe Zone is like, because I mean, I have so many other traps, but well, this is the rank up version. If you wanted to try the Safe Zone, then I'd swap out the 2 rank ups for the 2 Safe Zones, and maybe try and stick this in somehow, because this is actually really good. Or maybe even 3 Safe Zones and then go full in with that, all in with that, and then you'd have to switch up the extra deck. A quick crazy idea I had was trying to mix it with some Raid Raptors, using these as a sort of mini pseudo engine, but the thing is, I found, you know, Raid Raptors, they need a lot of their buddies to work well, and this was the most / fewest I could think of to fit in, but needless to say, this didn't exactly work out, but I don't know, who knows, maybe in the future it could be something. So anyway, that's been all for this real quick update, or deck profile, I guess. I don't really want to call it a deck profile so much because, you know, I didn't go as in-depth as I normally do. It's more of a kind of, I guess, update. I'm going to do like a full-on deck profile once we get an official format, because, you know, the adjustment list, it's kind of an official ban list, but kind of not really. So I figured I'd at least kind of try to update it for the adjustment list, just to kind of chat. And of course, you know, I'll end up have to be playing adjustment list because it's like a pseudo ban list. It's kind of in effect, and you should get used to playing by it, but at the same time it's not really. So again, gonna do a full-on deck profile once we get an actual list. But let me know your thoughts on this, any suggestions, let me know, and if somehow you can, if somehow you get this monstrosity, this monstrosity all together to work out, let me know. Anyway, if you enjoyed the content, remember to subscribe, also leave a like and a comment to show your support. This has been King of Feral Imps. Have a nice day.